Good day, everybody. This is meteorologist Craig Tillison from the Fleetweather Ocean Routing Center in New York State for today, Thursday, April 13th, 2023, where the current time is 19Z. Looking at visible satellite imagery across the northwest Atlantic, we currently see a low along the northern Gulf Coast, now moving inland over parts of Alabama, Mississippi, with convection extending across these adjacent states into Florida and Georgia, with some convection firing off of the east coast of the U.S., particularly Florida, the Carolinas, and Georgia. We also have a gale that persists to the east-northeast of Newfoundland, the Canadian Maritimes, with a large frontal boundary that extends to the south and south-southwest. In this general cloud-free zone off of the east coast of the U.S. over Bermuda is where we currently have a strong surface high that is settled into the area, bringing large-scale subsidence to that region. Looking at the surface analysis with regards to the GFS data and the 10-meter wind across the northwest Atlantic, here's our current gale that I showed in the previous slide via the visible satellite imagery. We have this gale that persists here, another surface low off to the northeast, 992 millibars near 53 north, 30 west. This associated cold front that extends to the south and south-southwest across into the subtropics is expected to quickly move off to the northeast. As it does so, we have a secondary surface low that will begin to develop over the eastern part of Newfoundland, Canada. This will become a complex overall system with the main surface low here, 980 millibars, just south of Greenland in the Labrador Sea. Because of this new development of a secondary surface low over Newfoundland, this becomes a complex system. As this system begins to pivot and interact with each other binarily, we have this second system that develops over the one that developed over Newfoundland, and the Canadian Maritimes quickly pushes to the east, deepening to a strong gale, 980 millibars, with a strong cold front developing and extending to the south and southwest. Conditions are expected to persist gale to potentially strong gale along and ahead of the leading edge of this cold front by 15:00Z, especially to the southeast of the Canadian Maritimes. This gale then begins to quickly move off to the northeast before eventually lifting to the north, while large high pressure over the eastern part of North America and also over Europe keeps this system relatively blocked and moving very slowly over the northern Atlantic over the coming days. Now looking at the same time frame, but with regards to the significant wave height, we see that our current system is here. We bring this out in time, 988 millibars here by April 14th at 0Z. General area between the high and the low here along the edge of the cold front where the baroclinic zone is. We have generally very rough seas, potentially high seas, anywhere from 4 to 6 meters. However, with the secondary surface low developing over Newfoundland and the pressure gradient between the interaction of the secondary low pressure system northeast of Newfoundland and this new development that begins to move cyclonically around the overall flow to the east-northeast of Newfoundland begins to create stronger area of fetch, westerly fetch, and we have high seas 6 to 8 meters, especially behind the secondary cold front by 1512Z. That begins to then just fill into one big system, no longer complex as we get those two blocking highs on either side of the overall flow, and the system begins to sit quasi-stationary, slowly moving to the north with a general large area of seas, high potentially, in the area just to the northeast of the Canadian Maritimes, extending all the way down to about 38 north over the North Atlantic. Once again, this is Craig Tillison from the Fleetweather Routing Center in New York. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on LinkedIn to receive all the latest weather and routing news. Stay connected and safe.